Very, very sensitive version of that.
Cheers, thank you.
That song. Just remind me a little bit, not in terms of the song. It's kind of, you know, the Gary Jules version of Mad World. It's got that kind of very ethereal kind of almost haunting sound.
Right.
But it doesn't sound like that song at all. But
yeah,
it's
I know
just
what you mean.
and it's just a song that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up.
Yeah, I think we were just saying offline before, weren't we, that if you're going to do a cover, you should put your own spin on it and not try and do it exactly the same as the original. I do love the original, so I hope that encourages people to go and check out the Cure's version, which is amazing.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I agree. There doesn't, to me, what's the point of reciting it as it was? Yeah, rehashing is one thing, because that makes it sound like you're doing something to it, but just regurgitating it in the same kind of way, there doesn't, to me, seem to be any point of that. But I mean, is there a theme to the songs? Is there musically or kind of lyrically on this album?
That's a good question. That I hadn't expected.
I mean, is there a certain sound to the album?
It's quite it's strange. It's quite an eclectic album, actually. There's lots of different, because I suppose my taste in music is so eclectic that it kind of comes out in lots of different ways. It's very difficult to put it down to one thing, because there's like songs like that, like you say, a little bit haunting, and then you've got stuff like Alicia, which I'll play later, is almost like a Buddy Holly song. You got very, very different stuff going on there, but I think it works quite well together, the songs, through no design of mine. They just kind of seem to fit together quite well, even though they're very different.
I mean, you talk about the eclectic influences on your music. Do you find that do you have a lot of eclectic influence from album to album, or almost from track to track? So what I'm trying to say is, do you have one album where perhaps you're listening to a lot, let's just say you listen to a lot of Buddy Holly, and you have a lot of stuff that it unconsciously becomes kind of influenced by that? Or do you find that you just listen to so much music on different music on a daily basis that every track is different? A
little bit of both, really, is a cop-out answer. I think... Yeah, I think the more I try and think about songwriting, the worse it comes out. I think it's more of a, the less interference I have with it, and just let it happen, the better it usually comes out. And you find that stuff you were listening to months ago suddenly rears its head, and you're thinking, oh right, okay, that sounds a lot like. But I mean, I think, like you said about going back to stuff you've done before, I think I tend to hear it more. When I listen back to stuff, I'll think, I must have been listening to a lot of, say, Loudon Wainwright when I did that, or or whatever. I mean, there's certain influences that, or people that I love anyway, that permeate a lot of what I do. My favourite songwriters are probably Paul Simon and David Bowie, who are very different, but I think.
But then there's a lot of different. I mean, you just mentioned Loudon Wainwright there, who I love as well. But there's quite a lot of difference between Loudon Wainwright and The Cure. Robert Smith. But I think it's that kind of eclectic taste that probably helps define your sound, ironically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's something that worries me when a band sort of just pigeonholes themselves into one genre, because. One of the most exciting things in life for me is music, and how many different sorts of music there is out there that you can listen to. So I always think music's about, bringing down walls, not putting them up. So you should try and listen to as much as you can, as much different stuff as you like. I flip from the sublime to the ridiculous, really. I mean, I love stuff like that. I'm saying all these cool artists and stuff, but I like a bit of Katy Perry. I like a bit of real cheesy pop.
Yeah, perhaps you better stop there, just in case you destroy your credibility. No. I grew up on pop music, and I think it's absolutely. I still love to listen to music with a. I mean,
it's always been an obsession of mine, music, and since I was really, really young, and listening to a-ha and or all these sorts of songs, but Queen as well, and all sorts of bands like that. I think it's one of those great lies that people tell when you say to them, oh, it's the first thing you ever bought, and they always say something really cool like, oh yeah, the Smiths or whatever, and you think, no, it wasn't, it was Five Star like the rest of us. But I mean, there's different ways to learn how to craft a pop song, and there's a lot of great writers out there who work with pop bands as well, you know. So yeah.
Just very quickly, because we have a minute and a half before we head into the news, and you'll be playing live in around about 20-25 minutes. Looking forward to it tonight. What does the future hold? What does the next in 60 seconds? What does the next 12 months hold for you? What's 2014 going to do?
Hopefully playing lots more gigs, writing lots more songs, and getting my music out there, I think, and it's for more people to listen to.
Yeah. What about people finding you? Do you have an online presence?
Derek Okora. Yeah. I'm on Facebook, Reverb Nation, YouTube, all sorts of things. So I think there's a link on your page to the Facebook one, isn't there? So.
Yes, there will be, and there will be tonight, because we always put the playlists on, and we'll put a link to you there as well.
Come and add a few more likes if you're listening. It'd be good to see you.
Yeah, so we're looking very, very much forward to this. You're going to be playing 4 songs for us live in hour 2. Tonight's studio guest is TJ Lee. That is all coming up in hour 2. Do stick around after the news, when besides some great live music, we also have some new music from All the Young. We also have some new music from Jeff Whiteley Project, part 2 of the gig guide, and we'll also finish off Mitchell and I.